Hey there, it's Ashley from Raise Your Vibe Wellness, and we have another Raise Your Vibe Book Club Power Hour where I read a chapter of a book and, give you some inspiration to go after what you want confidently so you can live the life that you want to be living. So, today I'm going to read a little nugget from this. It's called The Kindness Coach. It's just a tiny little book. Dr. Sarah Jane Arnold. And what I'm going to be reading today is for anyone who is too hard on themselves. So, likely perfectionists, maybe procrastinators because I always see them as tied to perfectionists. You're procrastinating possibly because you don't think you can do it good enough. You get mad at yourself for not doing what you want to be doing. And so you get really even more mad and stop, avoid even more what you're supposed to be doing. This is probably going to be good for, people pleasers. I never really thought of myself as a people pleaser, but I definitely have this tendency to want to be helpful, and sometimes I put other people before my own needs. Someone wants something, like help with something, and I'll help them right away. Even if I have my own things that I need to do. So this is good for people like that who maybe tend to put other people's needs ahead of their own. And so the topic that I'm going to talk about within this book, The Kindness Coach, is it's self-kindness. So, you're too hard on yourself. Maybe you're not speaking up for yourself. People kind of take advantage of you. It's not really even a chapter. It's just a little section, and it's called Assertiveness as Self-Kindness. So, let me start on this page. So it is part of this section called Responding to Yourself with Kindness. And there's a quote here from Rumi. Our task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So a lot of times we are our own barrier. We are our own mountain blocking us. And that is a big part of what I help you get past in your own life, because I've had my own major hurdles that I've been working on getting past. We put our own boulders in the way of the path that we want to be going on. So I help you to chip away those boulders or crack them and get them out the way. So, responding to yourself with kindness. The ability to be kind to yourself, both in daily life and in times of stress and distress, is really important. It means that you can think about and respond to yourself in a way that is caring, compassionate, respectful, warm, and non-judgmental, rather than critical and condemning. Familiar? Regular self-criticism has a detrimental impact upon people's sense of self and well-being in daily life. It's associated with many psychological difficulties, including borderline personality disorder, social anxiety, eating disorders, and depression. And it contributes significantly to perpetuating these difficulties. Self-kindness, by contrast, is associated with self-acceptance, emotional well-being, and better physical health. It helps us to understand our common humanity, cope well with problems, form healthy interpersonal relationships, forgive ourselves, and believe that we really are good enough. Like learning to talk or read, self-kindness and self-acceptance come through regular practice, daily if possible. And what I forgot to mention at the beginning is there are a few, she lists some principles and beliefs that you can adopt, and I'm going to tie them into, or I'm going to add EFT tapping into them. And so that is what you can do daily. This can become a daily regular practice for you. And I'm going to have a challenge for you at the end. Okay, so assertiveness as self-kindness. In order to be kind to ourselves, we need to understand our own worth, believe that we deserve kindness, and know how to extend this to ourselves. We need to know what our rights are, and we need to know how to defend ourselves respectfully when others are unkind to us. These are key features of assertiveness and fundamental principles of self-kindness. Assertiveness is a way of thinking, being, and communicating that facilitates self-kindness. It enables us to express what we think, feel, and need in a way that acknowledges and respects our own rights and the rights of others. So think about yourself, and how often do you speak your truth? Assertiveness, like kindness, is an innate capacity that needs to be developed. Some of us will have been supported to develop assertiveness skills in our younger years with help and guidance from parents, teachers, or friends. Some of us haven't had these kinds of role models. Therefore, we may not be too familiar with these skills. We might not know how to be assertive. We may have learned how to be unassertive. For instance, passive or aggressive or passive aggressive in order to cope and get our needs met. Many people fear that being assertive will come across as unkind, therefore they choose to remain passive instead. Now this is I feel like this is huge. This is why a lot of us are taken advantage of, or someone tells us to do something, we don't want to do it, but we don't, like, saying no would mean that we're being mean and we don't want to come off as mean, so we just do the thing that we don't want to do. I think this is a big thing of the people pleaser thing, and just that whole thing of when we want to say no but we don't we say yes instead. This is totally this. We're just too passive. We don't actually speak up for what we want. We don't say, no thanks, I have other things I need to do that are more important to me than that. There's nice ways that you can learn how to kindly decline things and be assertive for yourself. So assertiveness, by its very nature, is a form of honesty that's authentic, that's kind, that's respectful, and straightforward. Okay? Assertiveness. It's a form of honesty. I'm saying this again. A form of honesty that's authentic, kind, respectful, and straightforward. If someone is being demanding, rude, or unkind, they're not being assertive. Fortunately, assertiveness is a skill that can be taught and learned and mastered at any time in your life. Learning how to be assertive is a form of self-care. How good are you at self-care? Do you take care of yourself? I mean, I feel like people who are too hard on themselves, people that put other people in, ahead of their own needs, they probably aren't very good at self-care. Tell me in the comments. Are you? Do you take care of yourself? Do you, nourish yourself? Do you do certain things like that bring you joy, that make you feel good, baths, healthy drinks, getting lots of rest. So being assertive it's a form of self-care. People commonly report that knowing how to be more assertive through practice boosts their confidence, improves their self-esteem, reduces the frequency of challenging emotions and difficult thoughts, and makes them less likely to avoid difficult situations. Because they stood up and said what they wanted. They said, no, I don't want to deal with that. Or I don't want to do that. So then they don't get put in this situation where they don't really want to be. So they avoided it completely by just being open and honest in a kind way of how they wanted to decline. They come to believe that they can cope well with difficult situations and that they're worthy of receiving kindness because they've given their self kindness. So, one little last part. Here are some of the core principles or beliefs that underpin what it means to be assertive. When we truly come to believe them, they can help us to be more kind to ourselves as well as others. And so this is what I'm going to turn into the EFT tapping. So just I guess I'll give you a brief overview of all the tapping points real quick right now, and then I'm going to read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there's 12 things. There's 8. I think there's 8 tapping points, but there's 12 little statements here. So the first tapping point is kind of right here above your eyebrow. And the second one is, you don't want to do it like on your temple. I just do it just right below, kind of on that bone next to my eye. The next one is right below your eye. You don't want to do it in the soft part of your eye, just right below it. There's that bony cheekbone. Third one. Fourth one is right here, so you can kind of do this. Next one, right here on your chin. Next one is like your collarbone, like right in the middle, right below it. Next one is kind of under your armpit. Where your bra strap would be. And the last one is on the top of your head. And you can just use, I usually just use 2 fingers on my head. I use kind of all of them. And you can do whichever side, it doesn't matter. You can do back and forth. And so tapping, it's kind of it's very similar to acupuncture and acupressure. They're acupressure points. It kind of disrupts your energy flow. It kind of resets, and as you're saying these statements, it resets it into a better flow, I guess is a good way to explain it. Okay, so I'm going to read it and tap, and I want you just to tap along and say it out loud right after me. So I'll go, and then you go. I am allowed to feel my feelings. So now you tap and say, I am allowed to feel my feelings. I am allowed to respectfully express my opinions and beliefs if I want to. I am allowed to respectfully express my opinions and beliefs if I want to. I have the right to be listened to. I have the right to be listened to. My thoughts and feelings matter, even if you don't agree with them. My thoughts and feelings matter, even if you don't agree with them. I am allowed to change my mind. I am allowed to change my mind. I am allowed to say that I don't understand. I am allowed to say that I don't understand. Okay, now it's kind of in your armpit. It's hard to show on this video. So like right here, where your bra strap would be, right there. I am allowed to make mistakes, and I can learn to own them when they happen. I am allowed to make mistakes, and I can learn to own them when they happen. Top your head. I can choose to say yes and no for myself. I can choose to say yes and no for myself. I can choose my own priorities. I can choose my own priorities. I can set my own boundaries according to what feels comfortable for me. I can set my own boundaries according to what feels comfortable for me. I can choose to behave in a manner that I respect and that respects the rights of others. I can choose to behave in a manner that I respect and that respects the rights of others. I am allowed to walk away from situations and people that harm my well-being. I am allowed to walk away from situations and people that harm my well-being. And if you have any more that pop up that you want to say, do it. If you're feeling something, go for it. Just keep going with it. I want to be a confident human, so I'm becoming more assertive. I'm developing kindness for myself, and I'm taking time out for more self-care. I'm just making these up right now. That's one more I could do. I respect myself, and so I want to say no to things that I want to say no to. And people will respect me more for it. So, my little book, The Kindness Coach. And that was just a few pages. But I want you to let me know in the comments below, the challenge. So what you're going to do is do those tapping points every day. It's going to take, 2 minutes to go through that. Do it when, find something that you always do every day anyways, and do it right after that. So, like for me, I wake up, I go get, I warm up some hot water, make some lemon water, and come get back here into my little Zen zone, and I drink my water. Sometimes I'll do a meditation or a breath work, or sometimes I just have a little bit of time to write some gratitudes. But that's where I would add in these tapping points. So maybe for you, it's something like right away. What's one of the first things you do when you wake up, and you do it right after that? Or you can do maybe at night, you brush your teeth, and then you do these tapping points. So find something that you can tie it on to, and just do it for 1 week and see how you feel. If you feel better about yourself, about if you're more kind to yourself, if you're standing up for yourself and speaking your truth, being more assertive. So that's my challenge to you, and write in the comments below how that goes and what happens, and let me know. So I believe that's all I'm going to be talking about today. So watch for next week. I will have another book club. Mwah! Bye. Let's see, wait. I think there's a new moon coming too, so watch for the new moon messages. Okay, see ya.